Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel. I really appreciate you stopping by today. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I have been sick. I mentioned that in my last video. Just the fact that I have the big C finally caught up with us, and so I am still recovering, but I am definitely much better now. My voice sounds terrible. But I wanted to come on here. I missed you guys so incredibly much. It's amazing how much I really did share with you my October favorites. I can't believe I didn't get a chance to share my October favorites yet. I have 5 of them that I pinpointed, and I just want to share them with you. But before I do that, I just wanted to show you some of the plants that you guys were asking about, as far as the ones that Tina sent me. You guys wanted to know how I would pot them up and which vessels I would put them in. Obviously, it's been a really long time since I've done that, so I had to go ahead and do that. We'll start off with this beautiful arrangement. Tina sent me this wishes and this green papaya cutting, and I put them in semi-hydro. They are already taking off. I'm not sure if it'll come across, but oh, there it is. There's a little root sticking out right there that is stuck to the glass, and I love it. This plant is so beautiful. It's like disappearing into my top, the pink. This is just such a happy moment plant for me. Like, if I just need a moment to push through something, I can just look at this and I'll be happy. This is such a beautiful plant. I love it. And I love the way it looks in this vase, because it really does look like a bouquet of flowers. And that is something I'm loving about having my Aglaonema in semi-hydro and clear vessels. I just love it. I was just watching something that said that if you put a penny into the reservoir, it doesn't turn with the algae so quickly. And so far that's been working out. This is one of the other plants that Tina sent me. These were the clippings of the silver cloud Synapsis, and this is the cute little vessel that I got for her to wear. She is wearing this beautiful, beautiful beveled kind of glass outfit, and I love it. I love the way this plant looks in here. Again, this looks like a bouquet of flowers, and I love that. This cloud variegation is so beautiful. I love this so much. I mean, this is just something beyond anything I thought I would ever be sharing. I am so excited about her. I can't wait for this thing to grow, but then at the same time, I want it to stay like this. And then the last one that she sent me was this Silver Queen Synapsis, and what is that? Okay, some of this substrate. Some of these were rooted, some of them were not, and so some of them have a little bit of a curl, but they are rooting. I do not see anything inside, because this one I had to put into a larger jar because it had a lot of roots. But wow, look at this beauty. Look at this beautiful thing. Oh, she's so beautiful. It's very difficult to find examples of this plant right here. I don't know if this is the same as a Silver Lady, but this is the Silver Queen. I'm not sure if they're the same plant, because you know different places have different terms for them, but this Silver Queen is definitely queen. So now on to my favorites. For my favorites, I am definitely, every time I look at my favorites for the month or any period of time, I always look and I say, yeah, you are definitely a common plant kind of person. I have one that is not as common as the others, but they are all pretty much very common plants. And starting off, I'm starting off with one of my spider plants. This is my Curly Bonnie spider plant, and this plant, I can't even put into words what this plant means to me, because I've mentioned this a number of times on this channel. Just the fact that I had the mother plant for this one which this is now my mother plant. It was absolutely breathtaking and huge. I saw this plant and I just said, okay, Rachel, you don't need another spider plant. And I couldn't get it out of my mind. Went back to the shop. It was still there. I purchased it. And I collected rainwater. I did everything to make sure that that plant was wonderful, but I never changed the cocoa core that was the substrate in the pot. And over time, it just suffocated the plant. It was just devastating to me, because when I took it out and I realized all of that rainwater I was collecting, and if I didn't have rainwater, I would use bottled water to water my plant, and the substrate is what did it in. So anyway, this one right here was one of the babies on the plant. It was actually two babies. So there are two plants in here. And over the summer, what I did was I really just said, I want this to be fabulous. And so I actually planted this in ground, and I let it just absorb and do whatever it was going to do outside. They were two little tiny babies, and now this is where she is. She is more gorgeous than ever, and I love this plant. If this plant doesn't get a step over the size of this right here, I would still be happy, because it is still a part of my mama plant, and it did not die all the way off. I loved that mama plant so much, and just to know that I still have it, it just makes me feel so good. I couldn't believe when I started seeing it putting out babies. It just, if you know my channel, you know how I feel about spider plants. I have two huge spider plants that I love, and I'm still propagating them, if you can just imagine. I love spider plants. Next, I am going to show you a succulent that I have, and this was outside all season. I just recently brought this back in, and this is my jelly bean succulent, and it does need to be repotted, but I guess I will have to repot it, but I think I'll wait until the springtime. It definitely, like you can see all of the roots on this one right here, it's just reaching for something. Maybe I'll even just put a little caboose on the back of this truck, and I will just put some soil into it so it can just root in there. These break off really easy, so I don't really like to touch it very often, but I love this plant so much. This plant was gifted to me by someone on Facebook Marketplace at the beginning of my plant mommy journey, and wow, it's still so beautiful. They didn't know what was happening with it. They didn't want it to die outside, and so they were just sharing some of their plants that they weren't going to be bringing in for the season, the cold season, and this was one of the plants that was shared with me, and I love it. I do love this plant. And it still has some of the sun stressing that it got outside, but when it's inside through the winter, it's normally just green. And it was a lot more red and orange before, but now it is more green on the inside. But I still love it. I really, really, really love this plant. And I love the way this truck looks with the beautiful jelly beans in the back. Now, my spider plant sits in a west-facing window. I like to get this kind of information in videos when I watch them, so I want to include it. My spider plant sits in a west-facing window, and then the jelly beans is in a south-facing window that right now is not getting full sun because there's still a tree with some leaves on it. But through the winter, this window right here, the south-facing window, gets a ton of bright light. And so I have all of my aglaonema and all of my high sun items right here in this room. This beautiful philodendron, this is my philodendron Summer Glory, and I just recently hauled this one with you. And there's just a pink clip up here because the stick that is holding it up, it was sitting down on the floor, and I didn't want anyone to like bend down and like get caught with this on their eye. And so I just put this little bright thing here so that nobody would have a problem. But this is my philodendron Summer Glory. This plant is truly gorgeous. I cannot believe I have her. Every time I think about seeing that box with these leaves sticking out of the top, I mean, they weren't as big as this. They're definitely upsizing. They are filling out so nicely, but she is just so beautiful. I love this plant. Ugh. She just makes me so happy. This is the latest leaf that opened up on her, I believe. Oh no, I don't think that's the latest one. This is the latest one. And she's still a little bit soft, But yeah, this is the largest leaf, but this one is the one that opened up in the time that it's been with me, and it has a new growth point right inside over there. I just love to look at this plant. I think it is just so beautiful, and when the new leaves come out and they are so bright and gold, it is just such a gorgeous thing. I love it. Love, 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 love it. And I am hooked on it. I am hooked on this beautiful summer glory. I see the attraction that people have to the philodendron family in general with the really big leaves, because the leaves are just so rewarding when they come out, and they're just doing the most. This one still has a bit of its gold or its yellowish color that it emerges with. I was going to say that it's born with. But the coloring that it emerged with, it still has some of that because it's not quite mature yet. Okay, so that was plant number 3. And now plant number 4 is a cupria. Here is plant number 4. This is an alocasia cupria, and if you know my channel, you know that this was a unicorn plant for me. It was very elusive, very, I'm not staying with you, I'm not living with you, this is not gonna happen, you don't know how to care for me kind of a plant. But I just love it so much, and there's no doubt as to why I love this plant so much. I did so much research, I mean so much research, to find out what I was doing wrong with these plants. And I do have it in semi-hydro, and it's really, really liking the semi-hydro. This plant needs humidity. That is what I was missing. I did not have the humidity that this plant needed. Right now, it sits right behind me in this southwest facing window, and it sits right next to the humidifier, and I mean right next to it. I thought about, even when I go into Bark and Vine, when they sell cuprias, they have them sitting right next to, right underneath the humidifier, because these are not like the rest of my alocasia, which I have 26 different varieties of alocasia. This one right here, as well as my Jacqueline alocasia, they both really, really like to have a lot of humidity in my home. My home does not have the humidity levels that it likes, and so I had to supplement. But yeah, she's beautiful. This is a beautiful plant. This one is turning, this leaf is turning to the light. And you can see in the middle, I have a new stem coming up, and I love her. I love her so much. This one, I purchased it with this one like that. There were 2 more tiny leaves on this, and I ended up cutting them when I brought her home in order to accommodate whatever new changes that it has. And so I just cut them so that they would not start to bring the plant down, and the plant seems to be really happy with that. Oh, I could talk about this plant all day long. Look at this leaf. Look at that leaf. That is so beautiful. This one had just opened up when I purchased it, and so it just got a little bit bigger since it's opened. I love that. I believe I mentioned the fact that my cupria lives in a southwest facing window, and it gets a ton of light, but it also gets a lot of warmth because this room that I'm in is extremely warm. Okay, my last plant that I want to share with you that is in the same southwest facing window is right back here. Let me see if I can just angle it up a little bit. There he is. There's Big Mo. Big Mo is back inside of my house, and I am so happy. Big Mo was out. This is my Monstera back here. This was my dream Monstera that I purchased from Home Depot quite a few years ago. It's been about 3 years now. 3 or 4 years. 3 years, I believe. I can't remember now. I have to check my book. It's been a long time. And Big Mo is it may be my favorite plant in my collection, but although I love my plants, Big Mo may be the one that will bring me to tears if something happened with it. I love Big Mo so much. Now, he was outside all summer long, late spring, early summer. I had him out in my garden, And Big Mo was out there doing the absolute most. He put on just 2 more leaves, but just those 2 giant leaves made the plant so much bigger. And with that growth that it put on, it was almost impossible to get it back into the house. I couldn't believe how difficult it was to get Big Mo back into this house. It was hard getting him out when we brought him out to the garden, but bringing him back in without cutting any of the leaves or damaging the leaves, that was just so difficult. And so I realized that I cannot bring Big Mo back outside anymore. This was his last year going outside for the summer. He would just be living in my bedroom. Big Mo does not mind having, or Monstera don't mind having a little bit of coolness. So when we have the air conditioning on in this room, Big Mo is going to be able to, he'll be okay in this room with the air conditioning, so I'm not going to move him. So there you have it. Those are all of my favorites for the month of October. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. I love my plants. I really do. Even while I was sick, I felt so sad that I wasn't able to care for them as much as I really needed to. And so I have a couple of my alocasia that actually went dormant behind that. But for the most part, everything held on, because as long as their corms are not rotted out, they will come back. So I'm looking forward to that. Maybe this spring they'll decide that they want to pop up again. And I'm looking forward to that. Thank you so much for being patient with me, guys. And I do appreciate you being here today. I look forward to talking to you soon. And if you are willing to share it with me, I would love to know any of the plants for the month of October that were just catching your eye a little bit more for the month than others, or more than another month perhaps. And if it's the same plant that you shared with me the last time I asked this question, I'm okay with that too, because I love to hear what's making you guys feel really happy and pitter-pattery inside. Thanks again for watching, and I'll talk to you guys very soon. Bye.